Thanks for sitting in today with another session of 5-pillar mobility. Start by finding yourself a nice comfy spot on your mat. Find yourself in a nice rhythm with your breath. Take a second to slow everything down and get ready for some me time. Start by directing that air deep into that lower abdomen, feeling that belly rise as the air comes in, and letting go of any tension, stress, or anxiety as you breathe it all out. Breathing through the nose if you can. Scanning through your body for anything that's tense, anything that's carrying more tension than absolutely necessary. Just imagine all those muscles going nice and limp. Mentally get yourself in a nice, calm, relaxed, and easy space. Allow yourself to stay centered in the moment and fully present. Just take one more good relaxing breath here. As you sigh that breath, we'll grab that lacrosse ball and move into the left quad. We'll go face down on that left thigh muscle. Start by panning through that thigh. Look for where you're carrying tension. Let the video and the images help you find a starting point, and listen to your body to find what exactly needs attention today. Once we're there, you can experiment with how you're addressing that tension. Whether you're rolling on the lacrosse ball, whether you're rolling with or against the muscle fibers, whether you're just hanging out there statically, resting, letting that quad relax over top of that lacrosse ball. Let yourself settle into the right amount of tension that feels right for today. So enough to help that tissue settle down and not settle into pain. Every chance we get, circling back to your breathing, maintain that nice relaxing shape and size and rhythm with your breath. And let's take one more good quality diaphragmatic breath here. Let's sigh out that breath and switch to the right quad. So let's start by panning through that right thigh area. You might find it's tense on the outside, in the middle, or the inside of the muscle. It's a big muscle. Start with your search. Try to avoid your comfort zone area. Really try to zero in on what needs attention today. And once you're there, settle into how you're addressing that tension, the angle we're leaning, whether we're getting some movement through the knee, how much tension we're applying. And once you're through playing with the variables, just settle in. Concentrate on softening through that quad as you exhale. Softening through any muscle that might be tense. It doesn't need tension right now. Relax through your face. Use that calming rhythm of your breath to help your mind relax in order to help your body to relax. Let's take one more breath here. As you sigh out that breath, we'll move into the left hamstring. And we find the hamstring typically best to work on a hard surface, whether that be a table, countertop, plyo box. And if you don't have any of that handy, the floor will work. Whatever version of this exercise you have available to you, start by searching through that hamstring. Search along its length. Search the inside, the outside. Feel out what needs attention. Gently lean into that tension, get some pressure, just enough pressure to help that tissue settle down. Doing your best to sync your lungs with that target tissue. As you let go of air through the lungs, imagine breathing out any tension, stress, anxiety, right along with it. Concentrating on getting good, quality breaths, directing that air in and around the diaphragm, and slowly sighing it out. We'll take one more breath. Sigh out that breath. We'll move to the right side. Feel free to start around the same area on the right side as you did with the left. And if that same area needs attention on the right, let's go with it. And if it doesn't feel like it needs the same attention, then keep searching. And if you're not finding anything in particular, just pick something and go with it. And then circle back to your breath. That nice, calm, relaxing rhythm of breath. Nice, deep breaths. Feeling that belly expand on the inhale. And breathing through the nose in the exhale. Feeling that hamstring slowly deflate. Just submit to that pressure. Find that passivity. Mentally living in your happy place. Using your breath to calm your mind. Using your mind to calm your body. Let's take one more breath here. We'll slowly sigh out that breath. And we'll transition to the left glute. Let's go back to your mat. Place that lacrosse ball under your butt. Start with a quick search. You might find tension up around that upper band. Might be the lateral side, might be the mid-belly area. Settle into whatever needs attention. Play around with rolling or staying still on that lacrosse ball. And then play around with your posture. If you struggle in the bottom of a squat, pulling your knee into your chest will help you relieve that tissue in the position of restriction. And once you've found your version of this exercise, concentrate again on your breath. Finding that rhythm of your breath that helps your mind relax. And if you find counting to be a nice tool for you to find that relaxing rhythm and shape of breath, feel free to count your inhales and your exhales and the holds in between. It's just another tool for you to use. It's there for you if you want it, and if you don't, no stress. Let's take one more breath here. We'll sigh out that breath and move into the right glute. So the hips are really known to rotate and have a bunch of imbalances. You may find the same tension on the right side, you may not. Start with a search. Experiment with the tension. How we're addressing it in terms of the angle we're leaning. And also the position of our hip. Pull your leg into a little rotation or flexion. It can be helpful to free up that hip around its end range. Let's just settle into whatever version of this exercise feels right for today. And once again, doing your best to sync your lungs with that target area. As you breathe out air, imagine breathing out tension. And not just through the target area, anything that feels tense that doesn't need to be. Any of those stress muscles, any residual stress, tension in your face, just let it go. Breathe it out. Let's take one more good quality breath. Let's sigh out that breath. We'll move into the left forearm flexor. So we'll go palm down, working your way through your forearm muscle with that lacrosse ball. You can use your right hand to guide the amount of tension. You can even rest your hand on that forearm. A few different ways you can take this. Just settle into whatever area needs attention and the right pressure for it today. And again, you can roll, you can stay statically on top of it. There's benefits of both. Just feel out what feels right today. Once you're there, find that calming rhythm with your breath. Concentrate on breathing deep, directing that air in around that lower abdomen. Mentally staying relaxed. Allowing yourself to let go any tension through that forearm, through your hands. Just mentally go into your happy place. Let's take one more good quality diaphragmatic breath here. We'll slowly sigh it out and we'll shift to the right side. Let's pan through that right forearm flexor. Again, palm down on your lacrosse ball, searching through that forearm area. Use the video and the image as a guide, and let your own body's uniqueness tell you if you're on the right track. Pay attention to how your body's responding. Your body will always give you clues. Once we're there, settle back to your breath. Trying your best to sync your breathing with that target area. If that target area is settling down, scanning back through your body. This is fairly active if we're using the arms to add some tension here. We don't need that lower body at all. Let it just go to sleep. Any other muscle we don't need, hit the off switch. Put it to bed. Let's take one more breath here. We'll sigh out that breath. We'll set that lacrosse ball off to the side. We'll transition into a down dog. So hips up in the air, palms on the mat. And our main focus today is on the wrists and the hamstrings. So just feel out a stretch through the back sides of those knees. Feel out a good wrist extension stretch. Working within your pain-free range, just freestyle this. Feel out what position feels right and gets you a good stretch in the forearms and the knees. This is a fairly active position. Just doing your best to mentally stay nice and chill. Don't add any more tension than we need. Let's take one more breath here. Let's sigh out that breath. And we'll transition all the way to our feet into a standing straddle. So let's spread those feet fairly wide apart to find ourselves a stretch through the groin. We'll hinge through the hips, bring those palms towards the floor. And if you can get all the way to the floor with your palms, great. If you can get all the way to the elbows, great. If you can get all the way to your head, fantastic. Settle into whatever version of this stretch helps you target that inner thigh and those hamstrings. Try to rely on your upper body to support you and getting as passive as you can through that lower body. And in about 10 seconds, we'll start to slowly get active through that mid-groin area, attempting to squeeze your feet closer together. And let's go ahead, starting with nice, easy tension. Imagine trying to close the space between your feet, squeezing through that groin, ramping up tension as we go. Big squeeze here for the last 5, 3, 2, 1. Let's gently reverse. Squeeze through your outer thighs. Gonna pull those knees and ankles further apart. Ramping up tension as we go. Big squeeze here to finish. Really squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Big breath out. Relax. Nice and passive. Back into your standard standing straddle. Allow those target areas to just settle down, get passive. Nice relaxed headspace. And let those calming vibes work their way through the whole body. Take one more breath here. We'll sigh out that breath. We'll come back to a seated position for a forward fold. So let's start with pointing those legs straight out in front. Gently leaning your torso towards your shins. Don't worry so much about keeping good posture here. Just feel out for a stretch through that whole posterior chain. A little bit of low back, a little bit of glutes, a little bit of hamstrings, a little bit of stretch in behind the knees. Settle into whatever level of stretch feels right today. Take a couple breaths to calm your mind and calm that posterior chain. And in 10 seconds, we will start to gently get active. And as we get active, it can be helpful to grab a hold of your shins and think about pushing your feet into the floor while pulling your torso up. Let's go ahead, starting with nice and easy, attempting to reverse that stretch, ramping up tension as we go. Let's give a good squeeze here. These last 5, 3, 2, 1. Let's gently reverse. Trying to actively pull your torso deeper into that stretch. Activating through those hip flexors, your abs. Ramping up that tension. Finish with a big squeeze. Really squeeze hard. 3, 2, 1. Big breath out. Relax. Nice and passive. Relax through that midsection. Relax through those hamstrings. Let your body find whatever position feels right for today. Centering back on your breath. Take one more good deep diaphragmatic breath. And as we sigh out that breath, we'll call it a day. Thanks for joining us here today. Thanks for supporting our channel. If you like the video, remember to subscribe, like the video, and keep tuning in. If there's anything you'd like to see in future videos or anything you really enjoyed today, feel free to comment. We'd love to hear from you. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.